Good morning, guys. My name is Crystal. Good morning. If you like my videos, please smash that like button. Please do subscribe. I hope everybody has a lovely Monday. It's Monday morning. I'm up early because I've got to go to the dentist. Alexa, good morning.
Good morning, and a happy birthday to Scotland's Forth Bridge, opened on this day in 1890. Around 200 trains chug across the 2.5-mile bridge every day. I'm really chuffed it's been such a success.
Alexa, what's the time, please?
It's 7:28 a.m.
Alexa, what's the date today?
Today is Monday the 4th of March.
Alexa, what's the weather like?
Currently, in Rochester it's 3 degrees Celsius with mostly sunny skies. Today, you can expect lots of clouds, with a high of 11 degrees and a low of 3 degrees.
Alexa, can you tell me a joke?
What do you call a pair of banana peels on the floor? Slippers.
And Alexa, whose birthday is it today? Alexa, whose birthday is it today?
Today's famous birthdays include British girl group Spice Girls, son of David and Victoria Beckham, Brooklyn Peltz Beckham, South Korean model and actress Min Young Park, Australian actress and political candidate Angela White, and American basketball player Draymond Green.
Right, guys, so I've got the dentist this morning. I'm not angry, I'm a bit tired and a bit fed up, and I'm going through the menopause, and I've got all these symptoms which are quite ghastly and horrible, and sometimes I can't seem to get going. I feel tired, fatigued, exhausted. I feel just like angry for no reason. I get obviously hot flushes. But what has really annoyed me is that I thought that I was through it all, because I went for a period. I went without a period for a year, and I thought, oh, that's wonderful, that's it. You know, it's all finished, all gone. I won't have to put up with the period pain, the mood swings, the bloatedness. And then all of a sudden, I get a period and it starts all over again. And I thought, well, is there something wrong? Is it bad? Is there something going on? I know I've got endometritis, which is painful. But when I didn't have periods for 12 months, I had none of this. No bloated in the tummy, no pain. So what? Then I go online and I look at a lady that has been through the perimenopause and the menopause, and she's an American, and she's been through it all. And yes, you can get a flare of symptoms coming back, and stress can bring it on. Stress, believe it or not, can bring on menopause symptoms again. Stress. I do have endometritis, maybe that's had a flare up, I don't know. I'm due to have a blood test and I hope I get all this sorted out. But when I do not have a period, I don't have these symptoms. So I went 12 months without any symptoms at all. I didn't have the migraines. I didn't have the premenstrual tension. I didn't have the bloated feeling in the stomach, and it's all come back again after 12 months, and it's exhausting me. It's making me feel terrible, and the mood swings are worse when you're going through menopause. For me, they are. Getting shitty over something you shouldn't be getting shitty over, you know, getting cross with things that normally I would just laugh at. I mean, it's really pissing me off, because I want to get on with my life. I don't want this crap. So it does happen, but eventually it will stop, but I don't know when and I don't know how. So you can go months and months and months without a period, think you've gone through the menopause and your periods come back. So it's just a waiting game for them to stop completely, and then I might get back to my proper self like I was. Also, wafting in that weed yesterday didn't help. That weed gave me a headache. So here we are Monday morning in Rochester where I live, because my mum Jennifer doesn't go to the dentist. She doesn't have a dentist, my mum. So the builders aren't working at the top of the road yet, it's too early. But my mum does not go to the dentist. My mum hasn't gone to the dentist for ages. My dad didn't have a dentist either. So when I came down to Chatham, both my mum and dad did not have a dentist. I've been regularly going to the dentist. Me, Crystal, has been regularly going to the dentist since I came down to Chatham. But my mum and dad weren't going to the dentist. No. So there's something odd about that, isn't it? So you do wonder if drugs are involved. You do wonder if there's drugs involved in it somehow. Why wasn't my dad going to the dentist? Why doesn't my mum go to the dentist? You do wonder what is wrong there. And this is before this NHS crap. You can't get a dentist. My mum and dad weren't going to the dentist when I came down from Gloucestershire in 2008. So something has and is going on, right? I know it is. I'm being intimidated into keeping my mouth shut. I am being followed about, believe it or not. People keep asking me on Facebook, where are you? Now I've cut the dating sites, I'm getting a lot of, where are you? What are you doing? Why? Why? Why do people want to know where I am and what am I doing? What's wrong? And this is people in foreign countries. Foreign countries. We've got Morocco, Tunisia, Uganda, South Africa. We've got people in different countries, Ireland, trying to contact me, Crystal. And that's been going on since 2008 at my old flat as well, getting calls from foreign countries. So it's not just Great Britain involved in this harassment, is it? It's not just Great Britain. I get calls from Ireland, I get calls from, like I said, foreign countries. Where are you? What are you doing? Well, as far as I know, I'm just an ordinary member of the public. I'm nobody important. Why all this questioning? So I went out last night. I took Max out in the dark. There was a coloured guy in front of me, dressed in what looked like that woman's coat opposite me, that was out the other night with her mobile phone. Now this coloured guy was in what looked like her puffer coat, and he was on his phone. And I was walking behind this guy, and now I wasn't intimidated and I wasn't scared. I had my phone, I had my panic alarm, and I don't know whether people were doing silly things for the diary, but I just carried on. I'd inhaled that weed. By the M flats yesterday morning, there was a weed smell in the lift. and I was feeling dizzy. I had a headache all day and I didn't feel very well. But I've managed to get up this morning. Right? Weed makes me feel sick. I hate it. But I've smelt it at my mother's flat. When I've gone out to get some fresh air, they've been smoking weed over my mum's fence. Now she's not smelt it because she's been in the flat, but when I've gone outside to talk to somebody, I can smell weed in her backyard coming from the fence. Frequently, it doesn't matter what time of day it is, you can hear young women and young men talking by my mother's back fence, and they are smoking weed. And no wonder my mum's laughing all day long. That's the society we live in today. It's just full of drugs and alcoholics. So I went out. There was men walking up and down the path, and I was walking in the dark. And I just carried on keeping my cool and walking towards the co-op. I'd walked home. My neighbour next door, who's a male, was walking that dash hound, and he was only out for about 5 or 10 minutes, and then he came back as I was going out. He went out at the same time that I go out. Dead on the same time. So I waited for him to go out, because you can hear that dog. It starts screeching. Excuse me. It starts screeching. It starts screeching. So I went downstairs. I could see the lead that the dog was on, and it's held on a very long lead. So when the owner's coming up the stairs or coming down the stairs, it goes right down the stairs. So I saw the lead, and I heard that he was going in the lift. So I waited till he went in the lift, and then I went out. I have had that dog jump on the back of my leg. So I'm just keeping away from it. They've recently acquired this dash hound, and I thought, what concerns me is that Charlie that came up to me on the field, and his girlfriend started asking questions about my family, my mum, and my neighbours. And I told Charlie about the noise that was going on upstairs and how I was finding it difficult to live here. I told him about the dash hound barking when I go on the balcony. I said I tried to go onto the balcony and I can't because this dog starts barking, because this was in the summer, remember. I met Charlie in the May of 2023, and it was about 3 or 4 months that I knew him and his girlfriend, and then I was telling them information that was private and personal, and all of a sudden that dog gets worse. That dog gets worse. It's actually jumped on my leg. Joe moved out next door, and a very nice coloured family moved in. So Joe moved out because I said, oh, my neighbour's moving out soon. And she's fairly quiet, I said. She's all right. You know, Joe was all right. She kept herself to herself. There was nothing wrong with Joe. And all of a sudden, Joe moves out. We have a family move in there. That dog gets incredibly worse. And upstairs is bad as well. And the advice I got was like, I don't know. The Charlie kept hovering about. He kept saying his girlfriend was going to move to a foreign country, and he had nowhere to stay. So I got the feeling that he was trying to get me to invite him back to my flat, which I never did. And he had other intentions as well. It certainly wasn't to help me in that way. So I'm still in the same position as I was in May, the day of King Charles III's coronation. That dog is incredibly noisy and has jumped on my leg. The noise is still going on upstairs, and when it does happen, it's very loud and it makes me jump out my skin. Joe's moved out, somebody else has moved in. And every time I try to bid on a property to get out of here, I'm like nearly 100 on the list. And I have never ever smoked weed. Ever. I can't stand it. But the whole of Rochester, you know, you even go in shops, you can smell weed in shops. I've gone into the Pentagon Centre. The security guards are talking to each other, and you walk in and someone's walked in with a fucking joint and they're just like, look. But if I sit on the floor because I feel dizzy and fucking faint, the security guards tell me to get off the bloody floor. See what I mean? During the COVID pandemic, we had some bully boy security guards tell me and my son to get off the floor. Now, I said to my son, I don't feel very well, because we bought a coffee and like a pasty in Greg's the Baker's in the Pentagon Centre. And we went upstairs and my son said, well, why don't you just sit on the floor for a minute? And these bully boy security guards came up to both of us. You can't sit there. You can't sit there, they said. So me and my son got off the floor. He told me I felt faint. So we went downstairs and we went out. The following couple of days later, me and my son were doing some shopping in the Pentagon Centre, and there was people sat on the floor outside Greg's Baker's, and the guards were laughing, smiling at me and my son, and walking past these people sat on the floor. No word of a lie. Also, I got told to not sit on the windowsill. Inside the Pentagon there was a shop, and there was like a little sill, you know, like a windowsill. And you know, sometimes you don't feel well, you just want to sit down and rest, especially if you're elderly or you're disabled. So I sat down on this piece of windowsill, and again, the security in the Pentagon Centre told me I couldn't sit there. Can you get up, please? 2 days later again, there were 6 people sat on that windowsill, and not one security guard told them to move. Victimisation, this is. It's pure victimisation what people are doing to me. I'm being victimised. And the security guards are smile and laugh because they're trying to provoke. They try and provoke, you see. This has been going on for ages. And it gets me down, it pisses me off. But what can you do? You can't do anything. People abusing their power, picking on certain people and letting other people get away with things. It's the same with security guards in shops. There are bent security guards that let people steal, turn a blind eye and let them go in the shop and steal things. It does go on. I was poor up in Gloucestershire, right? I was poor, I was living in homeless accommodation, I was starving, I was hungry, and I didn't go into shops and steal food. I just made do with what I'd got. But some people, you know, there are bent security guards, they walk into shops and help themselves. There are bent police, there are corrupt police, there are police that have murdered. There are people in jobs abusing their powers. And it's just now, after the Queen has passed away, that the police are now being vetted. They're being gone through, because there have been police in power that have broken the law and shouldn't be police officers. They shouldn't be. You have cases where people have faked qualifications to get into jobs, and they shouldn't be in that job at all. They haven't got the qualifications for the job, which could be dangerous to somebody. This world is a dangerous place. That murder of Sarah Everard should never have happened. That guy had committed crimes before he was a police officer. But it wasn't flagged up. And it's not being paranoid, but if any police come to my doorstep, I want their badge and their ID number. You know, any member of the housing, I want their badge and ID number. The gas engineer, I want their credentials. I don't know who they are, where they've come from. Things happened to me in Gloucestershire in a women's refuge where I was almost murdered, right? I had a police safety box installed in my safe house. I was that scared. I had what I thought was a bona fide police box where you phone 99999 and you can get hold of the police absolutely straight away. It was a Turkish man that installed I thought, that's a bit odd. I'm living in a women's safe house and you are getting a man to install this safe box in my homeless accommodation at 11 o'clock at night. Really? It's a Turkish bloke. It's a bit dodgy because one of my ex-partners was half Turkish, and they send a Turkish man at 11 o'clock at night to install a police safety box. And you don't question it. You don't question, is there corruption in the police? Is that a real police officer? I've been trusting all my life. And then it's not till you realise that there's been a police officer that killed a woman and other corruption, that way back in 2008 when I was homeless and I let these men into my accommodation, were they really who they said they were? And I'm a kind person as well. I'm very kind. I hate cruelty to animals and children. And the things that was done to me, bogus and hooky, just because I stand up for my rights and my children's rights and report crimes to the police. I get victimised, bullied, and I don't get protection. I'm left with the perpetrators who are free to walk around and possibly, in quotes, murder me. And now I've still got it, haven't I? Where are you? What are you doing? So the police have allowed this stalker is still harassing me, whether it's from Great Britain or another country, I don't know. Anyway, guys, have a great morning. I've got the dentist and I'll keep you updated. See you later.